Well, the story takes precedence, absolutely. Everything that we authors do is to serve the story. And so one of the things that people love to do when they read a mystery or a thriller is learn something new, but you can't get too bogged down in the details. So I really love introducing people to various aspects of massage therapy, the technicalities of the human body, but it is the situations that Jackson ends up in and the plot that unfolds during the story, and most importantly, Jackson's inner journey and the inner journeys of the people around him that really power the story. And that's also what really fascinates me, is why do people do what they do? That's the engine that drives, I think, almost every thriller, and especially the psychological thrillers, which is kind of the genre that I write in.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to Living the Next Chapter, the author podcast, where we bring on authors and all kinds of different people come on the show to share their story. And what I love about authors on this podcast is finding out how they take their career and what they know and apply it to their writing. And that's what's so unique about these people that come on the show, is just what they know, their knowledge, their background, their expertise. And I just love how it filters into their books and their writings. It's makes our authors so unique. And today, a great example of that. Tony's here to talk about his journey, how he took what he knows from his day-to-day helping people to now writing about it and using that as kind of a basis for his characters and his stories. It's amazing. It's so cool. Tony, welcome to Living the Next Chapter. Glad to have you here.
Well, thank you. I'm very glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Excellent. Tony, tell everybody where you are in this great big world of ours.
Oh, goodness. I'm in eastern British Columbia, up against the Rockies. I look out one window and see the slope of the Rocky Mountains, and look out the other window and see the Selkirks, basically in the middle of the Rocky Mountain Trench.
Nice. Beautiful. A lot of interesting things happening out your part of the country right now, with all the G7 people flying in and a lot of attention around Alberta right now. But it's a busy time.
We had a lot of jets going by yesterday. Some very loud noises about every 5 minutes for hours on end.
Well, there you go. You're like, hey, Alberta, keep it down over there. You're a little noisy right now.
A little bit. But a lot of Albertans are escaping over here.
Well, there you just get away from it, right? Yeah. What a beautiful place to live, though, to be close to the Rockies like that. We went up to Calgary last year for a podcasting conference, and we got a chance to go up to Banff and all that. And I'd never been there before, and just standing there and looking at those mountains, you're just like, how does this happen? Like, everything's flat, and then just boom, there it is. I'm like, so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's astounding. I grew up in Nova Scotia, but when I first came out to the mountains, I went, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. And you hear a lot of stories like that when you hang around in the mountains for a while.
I do love Nova Scotia, though, too, I have to say. I'm the nicest people in the world in Nova Scotia. So there you go. We have listeners there, so we want to make sure we say nice things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. That's great. So, Tony, tell me a little bit about your background in your career, because I think this is really interesting. Like we talked about in the intro, how you can leverage your background, your knowledge, your skills, and what you have done in the past to help people, how that feeds into your stories. But tell us a little bit about what you did previous to being an author.
Sure. So I spent 17 years as a registered massage therapist. I went to Vancouver to study at the West Coast College of Massage Therapy, which is pretty much on par with the best medically based massage training in North America. And then spent 17 years plying my trade, most of it as a traveling massage therapist in Vancouver, which is an absolutely unique take on the profession and quite challenging. As a traveling therapist, you go to people's homes, you go to hotels, to hospitals, to extended care homes, and you get kind of an accidental specialty in geriatric and palliative care, and people with very serious injuries like spinal cord injuries and multiple sclerosis. And interestingly enough, pregnant women who absolutely love it that somebody can come to them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I don't think a lot of people understand. What happens when somebody like you comes to help us? Can you give us just a general 101 around what a massage therapist can do to help our bodies? Like something maybe we wouldn't naturally think of in the moment that you could do to help somebody then.
Sure. So when people normally think of getting a massage, they think, "Oh, great! It's deeply relaxing, and
Right.
it's a fun time, and I just get to lie down on a table and get somebody to run their hands over me." What people don't realize is what's happening under the surface. It's a tremendous circulation boost. It is a great sedative for the nervous system. It basically affects every system of the body. A lot of course, what massage therapists deal with is the muscles and the fascia that make us who we are. And no body is perfect. Everybody has a unique body and a unique way of using their body based on the occupation that they have, injuries that they've sustained, their emotional makeup. Maybe their genetics have given them some predisposition one way or the other. Massage therapists get to work with all of that and help return you to optimal functioning, basically. Work out the tight spots in your muscles and, much more importantly, ease out the tensions and the patterns of holding that get caught in our fascia, our basically lack of our connective tissue, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
That can really hold us stuck for a very long time.
Okay. So you have this background, you help people, and you understand how the body works, and that all that knowledge that you have, and then you're like, what if I take this knowledge base and my experience and adapt it to writing a story? So
Yeah.
how did you get, where's the leap here? This seems like this doesn't seem to connect as we talk about fascia. This fascia doesn't seem to work together, this story and what you've done. So
Yeah,
connect the tissues for us. Come on.
initially, it seems like a little bit of a leap, but actually, massage therapy was my fallback career. I've wanted to be a writer since forever. But I quickly discovered that I really hadn't had enough life experience yet. So I became a massage therapist. When that career came to an end, I figured, well, if I'm going to start writing, I better get to it. And I followed that age-old advice, write what you know. So I did a little bit of a look, like I read thrillers, and so I knew that's what I was going to write. And I took a look at the thriller genre at massage therapists that had been represented in the literature, and I was very much less than impressed. If you talk to anybody on the street, they'll have some awareness that massage therapists are a medical professional, that we know things and that we can really do some impressive work. But massage therapists in the thriller genre still suffered from the old stereotype. They were either astoundingly inept, astoundingly unethical, or moonlighting in the sex trade. That very old stereotype. So I figured I'm going to change that. Massage therapists really need a hero in the thriller genre. So how can I take a competent professional massage therapist and get him in deep, dark trouble? And so that's how my career was born.
Now, there are many things that you have written. Can you give us a little overview of the catalog that you have to date that
Yeah.
readers can fall in love with?
Sure. So I've got two massage therapy thrillers out so far. Can I
Yeah.
show them to you?
Oh, yes, please. Please,
The
please.
first one is called The Night Nurse, and let's see if I can. Oh, there it
you
is.
go. Yep.
Yep. And the second one, which just came out in June, is called On Borrowed Time, and
There it
there's
is.
that one.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have those two thrillers out so far. I also have a thriller short story based on the same character, Jackson Teague, a massage therapist. That's freely available online. I just have to go to my website and pick it up.
Okay.
And so those are two. There's going to be a third story in that series, and then I'll figure out what thrillers I'm going to write next. But three massage therapy thrillers will kind of give me a really good base of books to start with, and hopefully help move the needle a little bit on that impression of massage therapy in general.
So tell us about your main character for your books. Who is this person? What do we need to know about them prior to reading? Give us a little background on who this character is.
Sure. So Jackson Teague is a registered massage therapist in Vancouver doing suspiciously traveling massage. And he, in addition to being an excellent massage therapist, he sees patterns. He sees the flow of wind through the trees, how traffic moves. He sees the patterns in the human body, how everything is put together. It makes him a great massage therapist, but it can overwhelm him. It's an obsession and a fascination, and it can lead him into trouble, to the point where he would just get so fascinated by, say, the movement of cars on the road that he walks into the middle of traffic. And it once landed him in a psych ward, and he really doesn't want to go back there. But in addition to that, he is a little bit hot-headed and has a very iron-hard sense of right and wrong. And when he sees something wrong, he has a very hard time leaving it alone. And so, which again, really helps him in his career, but can sometimes land him in trouble.
So what is Jackson's motivation?
His motivation it's kind of, he's caught between two poles. When he sees something wrong, for example, in The Night Nurse, he has a fair amount of elderly clientele, and they start passing away, which, of course, happens to older people. But he sees a pattern behind the deaths, and he knows that this isn't natural, that something's going on, and he can't leave it alone. He absolutely has to get to the bottom of this and fix it before he loses more patience. On the other side of it, since he's seeing patterns that nobody else can see, nobody else believes him. And he really, really doesn't want to get into trouble again. So how does he reconcile this need to fix this problem with staying out of trouble and not getting locked up again?
So do we anticipate that there's a correlation between Jackson and Tony, the author? Are you someone who sees things in patterns yourself?
Well, actually, I think it's a way that a lot of massage therapists just naturally see the world.
Okay.
We, especially when it comes to the human body, we can tell, once we've had a little bit of training and experience, we can tell from somebody walking down the street, what injuries they've had, what occupation they have, often. And so there's a great amount of just innate awareness of patterns that I think massage therapists have. And I have that as well to a certain extent. So I took that tendency of massage therapists that I think we naturally have. And for Jackson, of course, I ramped it up to 11 and turned it into a pathology.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Where did your passion for writing come from as an author?
Oh, goodness. Well, that all started, I basically started reading when I was 4 years old. And thanks to Reader's Digest, which my mother always had to be around.
Yeah.
And when I was in grade 6, our teacher got us to write a short story, and the light bulb went on. It's like somebody actually writes these things that I've been reading, and somebody actually creates these worlds, and they have complete control over it. And, if I write a story, I can create the world and I can say what goes on there. This is fabulous. This is what I'm going to do. And I've always been good at putting two sentences together.
Okay. Yeah, I think too, for me, when I was young, we'd have like the Scholastic books or something, and we could go through this magazine and pick out our books. They would deliver it to us right in our classroom. And I remember having one of the authors come to our class, and I'm sitting on the floor, cross-legged, looking at this author, Gordon Corman, and I'm looking at Gordon Corman going, oh my gosh, it's the guy, I'm holding his book. I read your book every night, and you're right in front of me. This is a really amazing moment. I hope that teachers keep doing this thing, by the way.
Oh,
bringing
absolutely.
authors into the classroom, talking about books and the love of books. And that's a great memory, to be able to go back to.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of a chance to do that in our local schools, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again. But those scholastic book days, those were the best days of my year, let me tell you.
Right? Come on.
Yeah. When I was in grade 9, I remember taking a look at that Scholastic catalog and looking at the kids section, because that's always what I had been reading, was the kids, especially the kids science fiction. And my teacher came by, flipped over to the adult section, and checked The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. And I was like, oh, okay. And that started me off on my adult reading. And what a gift that was.
The impact of a teacher, right?
Absolutely.
Just like that.
Yeah,
Wow. And that was a moment for you then that kind of shaped your reading and
very
took
much.
you to the next stage, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. What do you enjoy reading as an author?
Well, basically, I enjoy anything that's really well put together, primarily thrillers and mysteries. And so my favorite authors at the moment, absolutely number one, is Greg Hurwitz. I don't know if you've run across him, but his Orphan X novels are absolutely classic thrillers and impeccably put together. He has a very long book list. He's been writing for a very long time, and it shows. Of course, Lee Child and Andrew Child are up there as well. And I've recently discovered Tana French, who writes beautiful mysteries / thrillers set in the Irish countryside. And who else? Well, Linda Richards, she's an excellent one. She has her main character is a female hitman or professional hitter who is starting to develop a bit of a conscience. And she gets herself into some interesting situations.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. If you had the opportunity to write a book completely outside of what you typically would write or read, is there a different type of book completely that would be really interesting for you to write?
Oh, I would love to write the great Canadian novel.
Oh,
I am looking forward, actually, to someday delving into quote unquote serious fiction. And I actually have a story in the back of my mind based around the notion of the family cottage and how that gets handed down through the generation.
nice.
Or
Nice.
one of the great Canadian traditions.
That's a great idea. It's a
Yeah.
really great idea. Nobody take this idea, everyone. This belongs
Oh no,
to Tony.
it's out there now.
Yeah, there you go. That's great. Yeah, I think there's a feeling when you walk into a family cottage, right? You open that door and the creaking sound of the door opening, and everything's just as it was from the last people that were there. And
Yep.
there's stories in the wood, in the walls. There's stories in the furniture, and
And
Yeah.
there's the smell.
the smell,
Smell of
right?
a cottage. Yep.
The trees are taller every year. The everything's a little bit different on the outside, but on the inside, it's like a time capsule, right?
Yep. Every year there's a different squirrel in the backyard, but it's always the same squirrel.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, and another new book coming down the road here for everybody from Tony. So keep your eyes and ears open because you never know when that's coming. That's great. That's good. So how much do you lean into Jackson's story as a massage therapist? And how much do you focus on his story in the journey of him in the book? How do you balance out, like, 'cause you could really get really detailed on, what he's doing, the steps and what it's doing to the body, because you know so much. How do you balance the level of detail with the story for someone who doesn't really understand massage therapy to the degree that you do?
Well, the story takes precedence, absolutely. Everything that we authors do is to serve the story.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that people love to do when they read a mystery or a thriller is learn something new, but you can't get too bogged down in the details. So I really love introducing people to various aspects of massage therapy, the technicalities of the human body, but it is the situations that Jackson ends up in and the plot that unfolds during the story. And most importantly, Jackson's inner journey and the inner journeys of the people around him that really power the story. And that's also what really fascinates me is why do people do what they do? That's the engine that drives, I think, almost every thriller, and especially the psychological thrillers, which is kind of the genre that I write in.
Okay. All right. Who do you have in mind as an ideal reader for the book?
As an ideal reader for the book, somebody who is, I wouldn't say long in the tooth, but a little bit, a little bit on the older side, and who has a good head on their shoulders, and probably a fairly busy life, but wants a little bit of a break and wants to get swept up in somebody else's story and get engaged in something that's not totally outlandish, that is, quite connected to real life, but is just kind of just around the corner from reality.
Okay. And then age range for your audience, where do you think they lay?
Oh, I think my age range for my audience is 35 to infinity.
It's unlimited, everyone. It goes from 35 to everyone. That's I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that because people listening as readers, they're making a decision like, who else can I tell about this book as well? So I want to keep those other people in mind while we're doing this conversation, right?
Yeah. Although that being told, I have had, I have had 25-year-olds and 20-year-olds tell me how much they enjoyed it.
Good.
And when I was actually in one of the high schools here recently, I was talking to the kids about The Night Nurse, not in great detail, but in some. And there was one 16-year-old who was adamant that she was going to go to the library and get it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's good. Speaking of talking to people who read your books and meeting people, you mentioned before we jumped on today that you recently went to like an artisan fair type thing, market, and set up a table and met people there. Yeah. It's a great idea. I don't think a lot of authors do this. I think more people should consider it as maybe a way to meet people around your book. Talk a little bit about maybe some of the conversations you had meeting some of the people around your book.
Sure. So, this is something that has been rolling around in the back of my head for a little while. And this year, when I was building my kind of overall strategic plan, yes, I actually have a strategic plan because I want this to be a career. I realized that an author's greatest support, at least initially, are the people in his community and the people just locally and regionally. And so it quickly became apparent that setting up at the Saturday markets was a great way for me to actually connect with them. So, I've set up at a few markets now, and I'm going to keep doing it. And it's a great way to converse with people, to talk with people who love books. And when you're set up at a market like that, it's obvious what you sell. And 3/4 of the people are going to walk right past you. And 1/4 of them are going to beeline directly for your table because they are readers. So it's kind of an automatic filter that way. And you get to talk to people. What are you reading? Well, and they'll ask me, what do I like to read? And every once in a while, we'll get around to, what are these books all about? And talking about the details of my books is almost a sideline because we get into such excellent conversations about different authors, different writing styles and genres that people like to read. I'm starting to, as a person in the booth next to me said, it doesn't matter how much you sell, you're building brand awareness. It's like, oh, yeah, I suppose. More and more people are getting to know my name just by me being there. And actually, one of the things that really helped was when On Borrowed Time came out at the 1st of June. The local paper had an article on it and about me. And a number of people have come by my booth going, oh, yeah, I read about you in the paper. And now here you are. So maybe I should pick up this book here. which goes to show you that the old adage of repeated touches, repeated contacts, really actually does help and does work.
Did you arrange with a newspaper around the story about your book?
Yes, one of the things I did was connect with as much local and regional media as I could. Sent out a little bit of a press release and made some phone calls and sent some emails out to see if anybody wanted to interview me and to connect with me about the work that I do and my latest book. And the local newspaper guy was, of course, all over it because I think both communities in general and my community in particular is tremendously supportive of our artists and writers.
It's a great idea. And for the people, authors that are listening, or anyone wanting to build a brand, there's like a little masterclass happening right now here with Tony. Really, it's just natural how you're talking about it, Tony. But I think getting in front of people, not waiting for people to come to you. You went to them by going to the market, reaching out to your local media, smart, because they're always looking for stories. They got to fill up the paper with something. So they're looking for people like you and anything newsworthy and noteworthy. That's really great. I love that you're proactive around your book launches. That's really smart.
Yeah. It's still still a skill that I'm learning and still a toolbox that I'm building. But hey, I got you and I in connection with each other. And one of the things about if authors are interested in building brand awareness, one of the basic questions people have to start with is, do I promote my book or do I promote myself? And the answer is you promote yourself. Because if people get connected to Tony Berryman, they will look for everything I've ever written. Whereas if they get connected to On Borrowed Time, they'll read that one book.
Right. That's kind of interesting, Tony, because that's how I try to frame my podcast. When a guest comes on, they want to talk about their new book. I'm always like, can we talk about the other ones as well? Because my audience, they're like, Dave, if Tony has more than one book, we want to know. We want to invest in him and then go look at all of his books. So I kind of led you with that at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your catalog, right?
Yeah.
I just think that people listening, they're when they find an author they love, they're all in. It doesn't matter what really the book is about. I love Tony. I'm going to buy his books.
Exactly. Yeah. My dream is to become an auto buy. That whenever I put out a new book, people automatically pick it up because the authors that I mentioned, Greg Hurwitz, Lee Child, John Sanford, another of the greats in the thriller genre, they're an auto buy for me. So I long to reach that status.
Amazing. What about an audio version of your book? Is that something you've considered?
Absolutely, yes. I haven't sat down to put it together yet, but I am very much looking forward to narrating these books myself and putting them out as
Please do that. Please do with that voice, Tony. Seriously, I would love to listen to you read your book to me. I also love an author that reads their own work because there's ways that you're going to read those words that a voice actor will attempt to do, but they won't be able to nail it as much as you can do as the author. You know what's coming next, right?
Absolutely, yes. And audiobooks are the fastest growing segment of the book world. So I would love to hop on that train.
No, you have the voice. I tell you, my gosh. I would buy the audiobooks just to hear you talk to me, Tony.
Holy mackerel.
Keep me company at work. So please, if I can wave a flag saying, please do an audiobook, I'm waving my flag. I love it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to fast track it now just because of that.
Okay. All right. Everyone, we're going to buy every audiobook that Tony puts out. That's good. Who else is a kind of a supplemental character around Jackson that we need to know about that would help us in the stories so that we feel a little more like a company? Who else is part of this main story? What do we need to know about?
Well, I'll tell you about the bad guy and the night nurse, and then I'll tell you about a character that carries on through both books. Okay. So the bad person in the night nurse, of course, is a nurse. Her name is Wendy, and she is an extremely competent and capable nurse. But she has a twist. She cares far too much about her patient's pain, and she really wants to remove them from it. Permanently. She is very, very good at what she does. And she lives by 3 rules. Number 1, of course, is ease the suffering. Rule number 2 is don't harm the healthy. which in The Night Nurse, she pretty much breaks. And rule number 3 is when they suspect, move west. She's been at it for many years, and now she's in Vancouver. She's tired of moving, and she's as far west as she can go. And suddenly, somebody can see her secret work. Jackson knows what she's up to. So he can't let her be, and she is never going to stop. So they end up at loggerheads.
So you've moved from Nova Scotia to Vancouver. Is there anything you want to tell us about, Tony? Just asking for a friend. That's all. We're okay. Everything's
Well,
fine.
people were so suspicious that I made the move in one big leap. I just
Yeah, I
hopped
know.
on the plane.
Wow. Okay, we're fine. We'll just take that part out. Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah. I'm not going to come to your door. Don't worry.
Okay, we're good. All right. So anything else about Wendy that we need to know about?
I think that readers will. I do a little bit of a deep dive into why she does what she does.
Yeah.
Again, that thing that fascinates me, and I think that readers are going to love finding out the interesting twist that happened in her life to throw her onto this path, and people also think about the title The Night Nurse and the whole kind of milieu of that, and they get the willies, which is actually something that is universal in that whole subject. So as I'm sure you're aware, Wendy is not unique. There have been killer nurses throughout human history. They are some of the most prolific serial killers of all time, and they are very seldom caught, partly because their crimes are so horrific that the people around them refuse to even believe that it's happening. And so they get to continue far beyond when a normal killer would get caught. So in my research into that particular facet, I was amazed to find out that little detail. And, they rack up some incredible numbers. And Wendy is one of the worst offenders because she's more capable than most.
And as patients, we're putting our trust in these people to care for us, to have the answers to what's going wrong.
Yeah.
And when they tell us take this medicine, we take the medicine. We don't argue. We don't say, prove to me why I need to do what you're telling me to do. We just do what we're told because you're the professional. You're here to help me, right? So there's that underlying trust that could easily be broken or stretched, right?
Yeah. But I reassure people that I write what I call genteel thrillers. The pages are not spattered with blood and gore. Yeah. So there's that little bit of reassurance for you.
So tell us about the character that goes between the two books then.
Yeah. So in The Night Nurse, of course, nobody believes Jackson when he's trying to tell people about this strange thing that he's seeing. But there's one Vancouver police officer who has a little bit of sympathy for him. Her name is Marilyn, and she has some experience with mentally ill people. She had a brother with a similar condition. And so she extends a slender thread of trust and starts investigating these outlandish claims that Jackson has been making. And lo and behold, finds out they're true. So she is his saving grace in The Night Nurse. By the time I begin On Borrowed Time, the second book, she and Jackson are in a relationship. They've discovered a common bond, and she is a very ambitious police officer. She's a Vancouver police constable, but she wants to be more. She's constantly checking out different departments and branches within the Vancouver Police Department. In On Borrowed Time, she is looking to join the organized crime section. She wants to make a bigger difference than just running around the city, putting out fires and saving one person at a time. She knows the huge impact that organized crime makes particularly in Vancouver, in British Columbia, in the Lower Mainland. And she wants to make a difference in big bites at a time. In On Borrowed Time, Jackson finds himself learning about the life extension community. He has a few life extension clients who are interested in living much, much longer than we ordinarily would and remaining healthy during that time. And somebody has discovered a new compound that will help our fascia to stay healthy and to stay young. And to a large extent, you are as old as your fascia is, which is something massage therapists know intimately. But somebody else has taken this formula and has decided to shortcut all of the safeguards built into biomedical research and just put it out there as a longevity treatment. I'm not sure if you know about how lucrative the life extension field is, but billions and billions of dollars are getting funneled into solving the puzzle of old age. And when you get that kind of money involved, you catch the interest of some very powerful people. And organized crime in Vancouver gets involved in this. So Jackson finds himself sandwiched between the old organized crime world in Vancouver and the new organized crime organizations that are moving in. And Marilyn is caught up in this as well, partly because she's with Jackson and partly because this is a fascination of hers and something that she really wants to move into.
Interesting. Okay. That's a really interesting perspective. I like hearing that. And I like hearing more about the other characters as well and how they all work together. Interesting. All right. For people that are interested from your perspective, Tony, around healthy living, the one thing I do notice around people who are getting older is when they become less and less active, it seems like that's when the health issues seem to be more apparent. Like they just seem to come up and show up more often, the less active they become. They become a little more, they sit around the TV more, they're a little bit, they're just not out there exercising, they're not, maybe they're retired recently and they've gone from being super active and super busy to inactive, and their health issues start to crop up. Just talk to us a little bit about just staying active, being mobile, walking, being active, and how that has an impact on us and our health. If we were sitting down having, this conversation as a massage therapist, any gentle guidelines for somebody listening and maybe how they can just stay more active and what that means for your body?
Gentle guidelines. Get the hell off your chair. Get moving.
There you go.
I
like that.
I've been paying quite a bit of attention to stories of life extension that are coming out these days. There's a new one that arrives every week. And one of the great studies that have come out recently is a confirmation all over again that, physical activity will help keep you young and will help keep you healthier for longer, increase your health span. And there are so many reasons for that. One of the great contributors to arthritis in our joints is just not using our joints enough. Our joints are lubricated. The cartilage in our joints is lubricated by us actually physically moving them around and squeezing the fluid in and out of those cartilage right to the very edges of them. And we don't do that nearly enough. And so the edges of our cartilage get dry and get cracked and get thin and painful. And we don't even notice that until it's far too late because we just aren't moving enough. One of the great circulation systems in your body is your lymphatic system, which picks up all of the fluid and junk and metabolic wastes that have gathered up in between your cells. And they're not in your blood circulation system. They're just hanging out in your tissues. Your lymphatic system picks all of this stuff up and circulates it back into your bloodstream again. Your lymphatic system doesn't have a heart. The only way that it works is if you move. And your movement actually powers that entire system. If you spend a long time being sedentary and then you get up and do some vigorous movement, you'll discover pretty quickly that you need to go to the bathroom because all of this fluid has suddenly gotten dumped back into your system again.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I mean, physical movement evens out our nervous system, improves our mood. It moves your actual bloodstream around as well, gets your heart and your lungs pumping, which, in case you didn't know it, keep you alive. And so, I mean, the lists of how movement can help you is just endless.
All right. See, that's what I was hoping for too, Tony. Some things we can put into practice today. I think a lot of people sit at desks. We sit at computers. The day goes by and you're like, I haven't even gotten up yet. I haven't had lunch. I haven't done anything. I just powered through my day. Look at me. I'm a superhero. But your body has been sitting in one position for an extended length of time. And then when you go to stand up, especially when you're like my age, your body's like, we need a minute here. Like, wait a minute. Like, you've gone from inactive to active. Give us a second. Right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, how come all these things hurt? Well, it's because I haven't been active all day. So be active, be out there, exercise. And walking around work all day is not intentional exercise. You're moving, but it's not intentional. I remember my doctor said once, he said, are you active? Do you walk? I'm like, well, I walk at work all night. He's like, that's not my question. Do you have intentional exercise time focused on movement? And I'm like, okay, well, no, I don't have that as actively as I should. He's like, do that. So just being active doesn't mean you're being intentional, correct?
No. Work does not equal exercise.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter what your work is. It's like you said, it's not intentional. It's not balanced. It will break you down more than it builds you up. And just walking around your workplace, it's better than just sitting at your desk, but it's not nearly as good as actually going for a walk. And I mean, part of that whole thing of going for a walk and of having a dedicated exercise or physical body time is you get to disconnect from your workday, and you're giving your body a break and your mind and your emotions a break. And they are all connected. They all work well together.
Excellent. And coming soon, there'll be an audiobook of Tony's books for you to listen to while you're intentionally walking, right? So that's coming in the future. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm involved with a few professional author groups online. And one of the big things that they stress is how to be a professional author and spend long hours at the desk and stay healthy. There are entire threads on, reminders to exercise and types of exercise you can do. And, all of that. I mean, professional writers are some of the worst offenders when it comes to this. So, so we know, we know the importance of actually staying healthy.
There you go. Okay, Tony, send us to your website so that we can follow your journey, see the next things you're working on and all those projects, and maybe a book about cottages, maybe down the road, and audiobooks soon. Yep. But tell us about your website. And I do have a question about the picture of you on your About page. But tell us about your website.
Sure, yeah. So the website, very simply, is tonyberryman.com. That's BERRYMAN.com. And right front and center, you will find a little bit about each of my books. You'll also find a little bit about a science fiction adventure series that I co-write with my wife under the pen name Trigger Jones. And lo and behold, you will find a little sign-up form for my newsletter. That is the way to keep in touch with what I'm up to, what I'm going to be publishing next, and little snippets from the writer's life and fascinating little bits of research that I uncover along the way.
Excellent. Great. And then, so the image I see of you, I see the mountains behind you on your About page. Mm-hmm. Is that close to home for you at that spot?
Yeah, that's right downtown.
Nice. Excellent. It was a beautiful picture. I love that.
Thanks.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, so Tony, for the readers again, your love letter as we part here, our conversation and leave today. Mm-hmm. If you could wrap this all up in our conversation today, a love letter to the readers, what do you want to say about the books and your connection with them as a reader?
Oh, my goodness. Well, the like I say, authors, we're here to serve the story. And the story is here to entertain you, to take you away from your life, and hopefully to keep you up past your bedtime turning pages. I've been told that my books actually accomplish that, which is one of the greatest compliments I can get. But I and every other author, we're here to serve the story and to serve you, the readers, and to give you something to, basically to throw you into a little bit of a different world for a while, and give you a bit of a different take on life through a different character's eyes.
Yeah. Excellent. Again, Tony, I got to say one more time, I can't wait for the audiobook because your voice so soothing. You're fun to talk to. There's so much passion, and there's a lot of wisdom behind your words.
Oh, thank you very much.
That shows up in our conversation, shows up in your books. There's a lot of power behind those words, and I'm glad that you had time to jump on here and talk about your writings.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Absolutely. Thank you again for inviting me. Excellent,
everyone. All information for Tony, his website, his links, everything's included in the show notes. So when you're looking at your phone, you can just click right there and go right to Tony. My request from everyone listening, when you buy Tony's books, when you buy Tony's books, to leave a great review, to let Tony know exactly why you love what he's written in these books, and share this episode with someone else that maybe is a massage therapist. They're like, I can't believe here's a book and here's an author just for you. This is a great way to expand the audience for Tony and to bring more people to him. If you see Tony at a arts festival, a market, and his booth is set up, skip everyone else and go straight to Tony and talk to him at that booth. He'd love to meet you in person as well. Tony, thank you so much for being here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dave.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. Glad to have you here. I just want to let you know that you can always find out what we're doing live in the moment by going to our YouTube channel. Head over to livingthenextchapter.com. There'll be a link right there. Head over to our YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things that all the YouTubers love to say. And in our YouTube channel, a couple things. You're going to get advanced listens. You're going to get the episodes that we're working on in real time. So we record and post daily on our YouTube channel. I'd love for you to give us a follow over there. As well, we're making playlists. We have over 500 episodes. So finding the right episode for you, we're trying to group things into playlists. So if you like children's books, if you like business, you like historical fiction, we're grouping our authors together to make it a little easier for you to find your favorite next author. So head over to livingthenextchapter.com. And again, I'd love to hear from you. Hearing from the listeners of the show is great. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of the podcast family. And I look forward to having you back for the next episode. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your time and your listen. Take care.